So imagine, just for a second, that you are the most powerful being on your entire planet. Like, you have abilities that completely defy the laws of physics.
Right, you're the apex predator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've single-handedly saved major cities from absolute annihilation, and you command the respect and, frankly, the fear of every major leader in your world.
Yeah.
And then you just voluntarily give all of it up. You travel across dimensions to an entirely unknown world. You strip away every ounce of your status. You pin a generic red badge to your chest, and you start taking orders from a local guard captain as a lowly, disposable mercenary.
It's wild.
And the craziest part, you are completely 100% okay with it. In fact, you're just sitting there enjoying the local spicy soup.
I mean, it really is the ultimate reset button. Going from being the apex predator of your ecosystem to, an undercover grunt in a place where you don't even know the rules.
Well, welcome to this DeepLore deep dive. We are tracking a monumental shift in the source material today. Our mission, we are mapping Noah's descent into the beast world. Yeah, it is a complete reset with entirely new physical laws, a terrifying new power scale, and stakes that are quite literally astronomical.
So just to ground us in exactly where we are, the planetary system has finally pulled the curtain back. It explained everything to Noah. He isn't just a strong fighter anymore. He is officially the planet's ultimate weapon.
Right.
And we learned that the enemy isn't just a horde of mindless monsters. It is a calculated invading military force. And Noah has just been deployed straight into their territory.
I mean, put yourself in Noah's shoes right here. Have you ever had to start over in a new environment, like maybe a new job or moving to a new city, where you had to completely hide your true expertise just to figure out the lay of the land without, drawing a massive target on your back?
Yeah, that's tough.
That is the exact tightrope Noah is walking. But before we follow him to the snowy plains of the beast world, we really have to unpack the conversation he has with the system right before he leaves. Because Noah asks the one question that honestly any sane person in his position would ask. He asks, why me?
It's the classic protagonist question.
Exactly.
But the system's answer is a total subversion of everything we expect from this genre. The answer is simply random chance.
That blew my mind. He wasn't chosen by some grand destiny. There was no ancient prophecy etched in stone or anything. None of that. He was literally just a guy who hadn't awakened his powers yet. And the system, which was actively losing the war, just took a desperate shot in the dark. It just grabbed an empty vessel, pure, unadulterated luck.
And we really have to look at the emotional weight of that revelation. Mm-hmm. I mean, you would think that finding out you aren't intrinsically special would be devastating.
Yeah.
It implies a lack of purpose, right?
Yeah, you'd think so.
But Noah feels absolute relief.
Right, because destiny is a massive burden. If you're the chosen one, well, every failure is a moral failing. But if it's just random chance,
you're off the hook.
Yeah. There is no crushing burden of cosmic expectations. It's just a tool he happened to pick up, and he fully intends to use it. But just as he's processing that relief, the system drops a caveat that completely changes the gravity of the situation.
Oh, the link to the planetary core.
Exactly. The system tells him point blank that because of this backdoor channel giving him infinite mana, his physical life is now intrinsically tied to the planet itself.
Yeah, if Noah's heart stops beating, the planet dies.
I can't even fathom how heavy that must feel. You're a normal guy who got lucky, and suddenly you're literally carrying the heartbeat of billions of people in your chest.
It's intense, and that ties directly into how the system reframes the entire apocalypse.
Right.
We previously thought this was a standard monster invasion, right? Beasts crossing over to kill humans.
Right.
But it's actually a massive extraction operation. The invading demon forces are using dungeons. Think of these dungeons not as caves full of monsters, but as gigantic straws.
Wow.
Yeah, straws jammed into the earth, actively sucking the essence, the actual lifeblood out of young planets to fuel their own dying worlds.
Okay, let me make sure I have this straight. It's like finding out the burglars in your house aren't there to steal your TV. They're literally ripping up the foundation of the house to build their own mansion next door.
That is exactly the mechanism.
Yeah.
It is resource extraction on a planetary scale, which brings us to the game plan.
Right.
The systems directive for Noah is incredibly ambitious. He needs to descend covertly into the beast world, rise to power from the inside without alerting the demon lords, and dismantle their forces so thoroughly that Earth can eventually reverse the connection and annex their world.
It is a hostile cosmic takeover. And here is where I really have to push back on Noah a little bit. His only response to this impossible dimension-hopping suicide mission is, when do we start?
He's ready.
Wait, so he just agrees, no hesitation. It feels incredibly reckless to accept a hostile takeover mission when you're just a guy who recently got lucky.
Well, I wouldn't call it reckless. I'd actually call it sheer pragmatism. Noah understands the mechanism of his power now. He has infinite energy, but he knows if he stays on Earth playing defense, those straws will eventually drain the planet dry.
So he has to go.
Right. He doesn't have the luxury of hesitation.
Fair enough. Survival mode. Which takes us right to the actual departure. Noah is ready to go. But his method of deployment reveals something incredibly unsettling about the entity he's actually working for.
Oh, the village.
Yeah, he isn't sent through some sterile military portal or a high-tech gate. He's sent to a hidden village secured behind a massive blue barrier to meet a teenage girl named Sophia.
Yes, it's a self-sustaining little paradise.
Yeah.
Completely untouched by the apocalypse raging outside.
It's so eerie.
Yeah.
Noah walks in, and Sophia, this girl with white hair and crystal blue eyes, cheerfully calls him Big Brother. Yeah, and she has the plane crystal, which is this condensed fragment of dimensional energy. She activates it with a simple touch. It wraps Noah in a beam of blue light, shoots skyward, and he disappears. But then, the horror element kicks in.
It is a profound tonal shift. Because the moment Noah's gone, Sophia's bright blue eyes go completely blank white.
Creepy.
And a voice speaks through her lips. But it isn't her voice. It is a bland, alien, static-filled voice that says, just like they brought the apocalypse to us, rain down decimation and destruction upon them.
And then, without missing a single beat, her eyes go back to blue, and she literally goes back to the kitchen to bake a birthday cake for a kid in the village.
Just baking a cake.
Like nothing happened.
Yeah.
This is terrifying. Is she a willing participant in all of this, or is the planet's core just hijacking her body like a sleeper agent?
I think it perfectly illustrates the sheer ruthless calculation of the planetary core. It's an entity of pure logic and survival wearing a human face. Sophia is a vessel, just like Noah is a weapon. The core doesn't care about baking cakes or human emotion. It cares about planetary revenge. It is a chilling reminder of the scale of the intelligence Noah is actually taking orders from.
That contrast between the domestic baking and the cosmic war is just wild. But let's follow that blue beam of light up into the beast world. Noah arrives on a snowy plain via an S-rank dungeon break. And the very first thing he notices isn't the monsters, it's the air.
The essence density. This is a crucial mechanical difference between the world.
Let's break that down because it's vital. Imagine you have been training at high altitude your entire life, breathing through a tiny straw.
Right.
That was Earth. Arriving in the beast world is like finally coming down to sea level and taking a full deep breath. The ambient energy is so incredibly dense that Noah feels his pores opening up. It practically fuels him just by existing.
Right. The beast world is an older, more established dimension. The energy is richer. But that rich energy also breeds terrifying predators.
Which he realizes immediately. He takes flight and he sees these impossible floating land masses in the sky, entire islands hovering above the clouds with no visible means of support.
It's a completely alien landscape.
Totally. And he uses his eagle eyes skill from over a mile away, and he instantly senses presences on those islands that are far more powerful than anything he ever faced back home.
That is the moment of humbling. He realizes he cannot just barge in and conquer this place. He needs a cover, and he needs to understand the local ecosystem.
So he flies toward the Frozen Kingdom, which is the last human stronghold in this region. He gets intercepted by guards riding these massive white-winged beasts.
Great visual.
Right. They check him for a demon aura, which he passes because his energy is pure, and they assume he's just a wandering mercenary.
Yeah.
And Noah leans right into it. He plays along, gets a red mercenary badge, is told the local laws like no flying without permission, and he walks through the gates.
It is brilliant undercover work. He needs to observe the power scaling without influencing it.
It's exactly like smurfing in a video game, or a billionaire taking an entry-level job undercover. He literally has god-tier, infinite mana reserves. He could level a city block.
Oh, easily.
But instead, he walks into the mercenaries' hideout, exchanges some basic rank B cores for 100 gold coins, signs up for a pest control task force, and then sits down in an inn to eat a bowl of extremely spicy, fiery soup.
And then he goes to bed to combine his skills.
Yes. Let's talk about how skill combination actually works here, because this is where his infinite mana fully breaks the system. Normally, a mage burns out practicing a spell, right? They run out of mana, they have to sleep, they have to recover.
That's the standard rule.
But Noah doesn't have that limitation.
Exactly. Skill progression progression requires proficiency, which requires repetition. Because Noah has infinite mana, he breaks that foundational rule. He can brute force the 10,000 hour rule in a single weekend.
That's insane.
He's running a constant background process of combining weak skills to artificially forge higher ranked ones while he's literally just lying in bed.
It's like having a supercomputer mining crypto while you sleep. And he needs those upgraded skills, which becomes glaringly obvious on his first actual mission. The task force heads out to the Skypeak nest, which is one of those floating islands filled with beasts ranging from rank C to rank S.
This is our first real look at the discrepancy between Earth's fighters and the Beast World's mercenaries. The captain of the squad, Reiner, is this massive guy wielding a broadsword, and he doesn't just swing it. He shoots an entire parabola of fire that incinerates a whole line of beasts.
And the other mercenaries are just as intense. One red-haired mage summons a massive blazing phoenix right there on the battlefield. These aren't amateurs. And Noah's just hanging back, doing the bare minimum to look useful.
He's using a spell called Infernal Purge.
Right, but what I love about how he uses it is the control. He isn't just dropping a nuke on the island, he is selectively targeting the lower level rank A and S beasts, deliberately keeping it low-key so he doesn't steal the spotlight. Even so, the local mercenaries are completely shocked by his stamina. They cannot comprehend the mechanics of a mage casting spell after spell without pausing to drink a mana potion or rest. But the real wake-up call happens when they reach the inner boundary of the island.
Right, Captain Reiner calls a hard stop. The entire mood shifts. Reiner points ahead and announces, "Any further and we enter epic rank territory."
And absolute silence falls over this crew of hardened, fire-swinging veterans. Noah just quietly files that away in his brain. The rank above S actually exists, but he doesn't rush in. He doesn't test his luck.
This highlights a crucial limitation of Noah's current build. Infinite mana does not equal infinite damage.
Think of it like putting infinite gas into a Honda Civic. Sure, the car will run forever, but it's still never going to break 200 miles per hour.
Good analogy.
If Noah encounters an epic rank beast right now, his S-rank defensive skills might shatter on impact, and his S-rank offensive skills might just bounce off its hide. He needs a bigger engine, not just infinite gas.
Precisely. Which is why he happily turns around, collects his 5,000 gold coins, and accepts Reiner's invitation to dinner. Reiner even asks him, "Where has a talent like you been hiding?" And Noah just flashes this perfect, unassuming smile and says he was honing his skills privately.
He is playing the long game. But while Noah's playing working-class mercenary, the narrative pivots violently to show us the actual ruling elite of the Frozen Kingdom. And the tone shifts from undercover adventure to absolute dread.
We're introduced to the Ice Princess.
Yeah. Noah and Reiner are standing at a bridge checkpoint when a lavish carriage pulls up. It is surrounded by peak rank S guards. And Reiner, this massive, boisterous guy who is just laughing and swinging a fire sword, goes completely quiet.
Totally silent.
His entire demeanor changes. He calls out respectfully, and when the veiled woman steps out and gives him a tiny nod, he grins like he just won the lottery.
But the fascinating part is when we enter the princess's point of view. She has incredible wealth, a massive spy network, the strongest guards in the kingdom, and yet she is living in sheer, unadulterated terror.
Because of how her unique skill works. Golden rule. Let's explain this mechanism because it's brilliant. This skill allows her to see the true intentions of everyone around her manifested as literal colors. It is the ultimate political lie detector.
It's an incredibly powerful tool for a royal, but it is also a psychological curse. She can never just trust a smile.
Exactly. She looks at her family and the colors tell a horrifying story. Her younger brother shows as green, which means he's safe. Her father, the king, shows as light blue, meaning his ambitions are manageable. But her older brother, the crown prince,
Black.
He shows as pure black, pure, unadulterated malice. Imagine having to eat dinner with someone who literally glows with the desire to murder you.
And despite her spy agency watching his every move, despite surrounding herself with peak rank S guards, her golden rule skill has always given her the exact same underlying terrifying message. Death is approaching. A calamity is coming for her.
Nothing she has ever done has changed that fate. It has always been this looming, inescapable shadow. Until today. The chapter ends with her realizing that, for the very first time in years, the message changed. The variable in her fate shifted.
The implication being, of course, that the new variable is Noah Osmond walking through the gates of the Frozen Kingdom.
The dramatic irony here is just delicious. You have this terrified royal who has been playing 4D political chess for years to avoid her assassination, and she has no idea that the cosmic variable that just shattered her fate is an undercover guy who is just thrilled to eat a bowl of fiery soup at the local tavern.
It perfectly illustrates the collision of two completely different scales of power. She is operating on the level of kingdom politics. Noah is operating on the level of planetary survival.
Which makes this the perfect time to dig into these mechanics a bit deeper. This entirely shifts how we have to look at her skill, which brings us to the DeepLore theory corner. We've got 4 massive questions to debate, and I want to start right there, with the golden rule skill. The princess's fate changed, and we know that change is Noah. But what color is he going to show on her skill? Because his mana isn't even from this dimension.
That's the key. Her skill relies on reading the local essence and intentions of the beast world. Noah's power source is channeled directly from Earth's planetary core. Because of that, I think he will be completely unreadable.
You think so?
Yeah, he won't be a color at all. I think she'll look at him and see a void. Just static on a TV screen.
Yeah.
And honestly, an anomaly her system cannot process will terrify her even more than the color black.
Ooh, I actually completely disagree. I think because he has infinite mana, he's going to overload her skill. He's going to show up as blinding, overwhelming white or gold, like looking directly into the sun. She's not going to see static. She's going to see an absolute singularity of power that blinds her inner eye.
Well, an overload makes sense mechanically, given the sheer density of his reserves. But what about his actual output? That brings us to the epic rank. We know it exists above S rank. What does that mean for Noah's progression, and how far away is he really from bridging that gap?
I think he's right on the edge. Like we talked about with his skill combination, the mechanics of his infinite mana are entirely broken. He's been synthesizing rank B and rank A skills in his hotel room while he sleeps. I predict he will synthetically create an epic rank skill through sheer brute force combination before he ever even lays eyes on an epic rank beast.
I agree with that timeline. He will artificially build the bigger engine you mentioned earlier. But let's pivot back to the kingdom's politics. The Crown Prince shows black, pure malice on her skill. Is he actively working with the invading demons, or is he just a highly dangerous traditional political rival who wants the throne?
I think he's just a sociopath on his own. I think the author's throwing us a red herring here. The Crown Prince wants to kill his sister for the throne, sure, but the demons are probably using someone entirely different, someone who shows up as a safe color, like green or blue, to subvert the golden rule.
I have to disagree there. If we look at the patterns of the demons so far, their extraction operations rely on subverting the strongest local powers to establish those dungeon straws. I would bet the Crown Prince has made a direct deal with the demon forces.
Really?
Yeah. He gets the throne, they get the planet's essence. It's the classic Faustian bargain.
Oh man, if he's actively letting the demons plant dungeons, he has to go. Finally, let's talk about Sophia, the girl who activated the plane crystal. She said, "Rain down decimation upon them," in a blank static voice that wasn't hers. What is she exactly?
That's a big question.
I say she's just a poor, possessed human vessel, a sleeper agent who the planetary core hijacked, and she has absolutely no idea what she's a part of.
I have to strongly push back on that. Consider the environment she's in. A hidden, pristine, self-sustaining paradise, completely untouched by the apocalypse. I don't think Sophia is a human being at all.
Wait, really?
No. I think she is the physical manifestation, the literal avatar of the planetary core itself. She is living out a peaceful, localized simulation while her true consciousness coordinates a cosmic war.
Wait, so you're saying an ancient world-sized intelligence just decided to manifest as a teenage girl to bake a birthday cake? That is wild, but mechanically, it makes so much sense given how she activated the plane crystal with a simple touch. She didn't need to channel energy into it. She is the energy.
Exactly. The planet is wearing a human suit.
We are definitely keeping a close eye on Sophia. But as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with the beautiful contrast of these chapters. Think about the sheer scale of what is happening. You have Noah, standing in a wondrous new world, making 5,000 gold coins, eating spicy soup, and sleeping peacefully in a feather bed, completely oblivious to the fact that his mere arrival just shattered the death-sensing fate of a terrifying, untouchable ice princess.
He is the ultimate wild card in an ecosystem that thought it had everything figured out.
But I want you to mull over this final thought. We just debated Sophia. If Noah's planetary core can completely hijack a human girl, or physically manifest as one, to deliver an ominous message across dimensions, what is stopping the Beast World's core, or the invading demon forces, from doing the exact same thing to the new friends Noah is making right now? How do you trust the mercenary fighting next to you when the planets themselves can wear human faces?
A terrifying prospect for an undercover operative who's just trying to blend in.
Drop your theories, that's DeepLore. See you in the next one.